Thank you. Next question is Tony Emilio from Pomfret.
It's really more of a comment, and Tony said it in his introduction, and that's common sense. And we have lost common sense. And I would hope that the Republican Party in Connecticut, the leadership, looks to hire some great communicators, because the road is to November. But along the way, you've got to have people out communicating along the way. There's so many, you've heard comments from so many people. It's common sense. Somebody needs to hit some of these points, and either with social media, newspaper, television, always in front to talk about these are common sense. Education, somebody said, people had better scores 7 years ago. Well, it's true. So throwing more money at a system doesn't make us better educated. Yet we're constantly, as a party, locally, in Connecticut, and nationally, hit with that. There was some anti-education party. But there are statistics, there are studies, there are so many things that we need to have somebody who's out there saying, hey folks, take a look at this. Read what this man at Harvard wrote. Look at the study they did. And let's revisit us having an unending source of revenue to go to schools. Everybody wants kids to be better educated. It's a Connecticut thing. Let's make it a Connecticut thing, not necessarily the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. It's a Connecticut thing. We need to get back to that and to common sense.
You know, what you're saying is that there was a little pushback in the House with the bill where they were going to auction off the electricity, where the Democrats joined with the Republicans, some of the moderate Democrats. And that was the first time, I don't know about you, I haven't seen that happen before. And actually, to be honest, Claire Janowski from Vernon kind of led the charge on the Democratic side. And I give her a lot of credit, because it takes courage to do that. And they basically got together, and Penny would know more than Mike, because they're in the House, but they got together and they stopped that energy auction, which I thought was a real bad thing. You might have want to fill us in a little bit.
I think what Tony's referring to is we were able to get 20 Democrats to have some common sense. It doesn't happen very often. And this was a situation where there was a proposal to do something stupid, and 20 Democrats stood up and had some courage and said, that's just dumb. They had common sense and they voted with the Republicans, and we were able, on a rare opportunity, to defeat one of the bad proposals. Because they had common sense.
So I'm hoping that, maybe, this happened years ago when Rich Balducci took over the House. He was a moderate Democrat, and he pulled together with the Republicans. And I don't know, maybe I got a pipe dream going on. But and he became Speaker of the House, and he knocked out a guy named Herb Stolberg, who was a real smart guy. He was a professor from Southern Connecticut. But he was a very, very liberal guy. And they had come to that point where a lot of the moderate Democrats wanted a change. Balducci coupled with the Republicans, and he was elected Speaker of the House. I think he stayed in for 2 terms. And he was a firewall. And but if we elect a governor, and that's what we had before, that's why things weren't worse before. No matter what you thought about Jody Rell and John Roller, they were a firewall to even worse things happening. And now the firewall's gone. So you have, you have one party control, and it's out of control.
Mike?
I think it's all been said.
Okay. I think we have one more question, and that's from Melanie.